What's something that sounds horrible, but is actually pleasurable once you try it? My daughter accidentally scratched my eye pretty badly a few years ago, leaving a crescent-shaped cut in my cornea. The ear doctor told me to put some Visine on it, and it'd go away by morning. I spent the night in escalating/excruciating pain, and went to a proper eye guy first thing. I was already freaking out about the pain, and definitely didn't want someone mucking about in there, but he convinced me to let him put in a bandage lens, like a contact lens, but thicker, and it holds the flap made by the cut down. Right before he put it in, he stopped and said, "I want you to remember this moment." And I will, because it was like a light switch turning off. First, blinding pain so bad I wanted to vomit, followed by absolutely nothing. No hurt. I had to wear an eye patch for a couple of days. That's it. Having an abscess tooth extracted. Before the procedure, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. I went in to have it pulled, and the dentist tried to explain to me that they could save the tooth blah blah blah. I was in so much pain I just said, "Take it out please." They numbed me up, but it didn't touch the pain I was in. After a few minutes of them playing around in my mouth with a pick and pliers, I started to feel pressure on my jaw and the tooth popped out. The dentist was surprised and said, "Yeah, I bet that feels better." He said a bunch of infection came out, which is what he was vacuuming out. Immediate relief. Like no pain at all. Relief to the point that I was in ecstasy. I almost cried. This is literally what happened to me. Infected tooth after a dodgy root canal that was basically sitting rotting. I was given antibiotics, but they did nothing. The pain was constant, but it suddenly got much worse over the weekend. I was in the worst pain I have ever felt. 8 AM Monday morning, I basically kicked the dentist's door open and begged them to take it out. I didn't care who did it. I was at that stage where the janitor could have turned up with a pair of pliers and I would have given him the go ahead. As soon as that tooth was out, the relief was instant. A slight popping noise, and then it was like being shot full of morphine. I swear, all my other senses had been numbed by the pain, and it was like getting everything all back at once. Everything seemed brighter, louder, and just generally better all round. I've broken bones, and had some pretty nasty injuries, but none of them came close to the pain of that bloody tooth. Spicy food. Once you build a tolerance, the endorphin rush alone is worth the initial pain. Edit #1. For you heat lovers out there, I highly recommend trying the tube of terra peanuts. Just one peanut will send the ordinary person to the emergency room. This is the only spicy food that has been way spicier than I expected, and it honestly kicks my ass because I struggle with capsaicin extract. I'd rather eat 5 Carolina Reapers over one of these peanuts. Edit #2. A lot of people have me asking for tips on building a tolerance to such food, along with tips on how to overcome the digestive discomfort after eating spicy food. Building a tolerance takes a lot of time, years, and requires you push yourself way beyond your limit once in a while. Begin with adding jalapenos to foods you enjoy, such as omelets, burgers, salads, or stir fries. Work your way up by adding serranos, then habaneros, then chili diables, etc. You can Google Scoville pepper scales to see a list of hot peppers and their heat level. After months of consistently adding peppers to normal foods you eat, start eating whole fresh peppers. In order to ease digestive discomfort, eat some plain Greek yogurt, banana, bread, and Pepto-Bismol prior to eating spicy food. D&D. I had a friend who, for literally years, would try and get the rest of us to play. It was a hard pass from me every Friday for about 3 years. I had no interest in sitting around and pretending to be a fucking elf or whatever with 18 apostrophes in my name, all with stacks of rule books that are inches thick. No, thank you. Life's too short. Then I tried it, and of course it's wonderful. Sit around, chill with your friends, drink some beers, eat some fancy cheese, kill some imaginary goblins. Cliché, but the first roller coaster ride at an amusement park. The first one you haven't experienced the stomach drop in a while, and your heart is hammering, and your knees are shaking a bit, and your friends ask where, and you immediately say the front and mentally shoot yourself in the mouth for your stupidity. You get to the front of the line, and one of your friends takes all the stuff, and says he'll see you guys when you finish. You wish you could join him. A bored employee straps you in, and fear takes your heart and makes a stress ball out of it. You are pleading to God that the roller coaster doesn't kill you. You don't even believe in God. You're at the top of the hill now, and holy shit, then just pure fucking ecstasy. The ride finishes, and you turn to your friend, a giant blinding smile painting itself across every inch of your face, and you say, "Can we go again?" Great feeling, really. Magic mushrooms. You have to eat mushrooms that don't taste good. They don't taste neutral like food mushrooms. They taste pretty gross. If you got dried mushrooms, you might rehydrate them, and then you're eating what looks and smells like a rotting, smelly, chewy slug. You're gonna get nauseous. You might throw up. Your stomach will feel like it's full of drunk bumblebees. There's a good chance you could have a panic attack. There's a small chance you could have one of the most terrifying experiences of your entire life. There's a very small chance you may become so terrified that you are a threat to yourself or others. It's a roller coaster that lasts 4 to 6 hours, and once it starts, you can't get off. Also, you can't sleep. And yet it might very well be one of the most important life-changing experiences you ever have. Cervical spinal fusion. I had terrible pains in my neck and shoulder, and pretty much lost the use of my left arm. Couldn't look up, couldn't hold anything in my left hand. My MRI showed ruptured discs and severe spinal compression at C3 through C6, and I had a 4-level fusion. After months of pain and incapacitation, I woke up with no pain and full use of my limb. 10/10 would recommend. Having ingrown toenails removed. I had one on each side of each big toe for years. In middle school/freshman year, I would have gotten them removed sooner, but my mom is a bitch from hell. Long story. Anyway, the doc numbs my feet and uses a scalpel to cut my nails down to the root and pulls out the ingrown part. Pus and blood everywhere. The nail grew 1/2 inch down into my toe. Before the surgery, pus would leak daily and my socks would stick to my feet. I'll never have to endure ingrowns again, because the doc killed my roots on either side of either toe. I'll never be a foot model, but it doesn't hurt. After the numbing wore off, I was hit with the best relief ever. It's odd and disgusting, but when you get an upset stomach due to change in water and get watery diarrhea, I got it when I went to visit Pakistan, and the water was straight from the well, unfiltered. For the first few weeks, I had the watery shits, and it is the most satisfying thing ever. There's no struggle, no begging your ancestors for a leaf, and promising on all your unborn children's pinkies that you'll be a good boy. Instead, it just slides out like an open faucet. When it's happening, you can hear angels sing, blessing your morning shit, and giving you a wonderful start for the day. However, you always need to be in close vicinity to a toilet. That type of shit don't stop for any cheek. Even Patrick with steel cheeks won't be able to stop that flow once you start to feel it. Going to a gym. For people who say I rather sit on my lazy ass than go the gym, haven't experienced true endorphins from your body. Once you get up, go to the gym, stretch and do some exercise. You will feel good after. It feels good to move your body. You only have one body in your lifetime. Why not shape it to be fit? People tell me I wish I was jacked like you, or say wow I wish I had abs. Here's the thing. You do have abs. You can get your muscles to show. You can lose weight. A PB and jelly sandwich. I'm Brazilian, but I've been living in Switzerland for almost half of my life. Now, we, Europeans and South Americans, would always watch movies where the moms would make PBJ sandwiches for their sons and put them inside those brown paper bags. I love PB, and I loved jelly, but for some reason thinking about the two of them together would make me sick. But then, I kind of tried it. During an American party my friend threw. Yes, we had red cups bought on Amazon. She made those triangular tiny sandwiches, and I was so busy having an existential crisis because my crush was talking to a really pretty girl that I just ate it without realizing. And it was good. So this is how my relationship with PBJ sandwiches started. Getting my big toenails removed. The pain I felt every time I walked was like putting a pin under my toe and stepping on it. Imagine that, but for 3 months, having to go to school and walk home. At first I was scared because I'd have to see everything happen to my toenails. Nail cutter going under my toe and snipping it, but they gave me the option of not looking, which I quickly said yes to. When the numbness of the anesthesia left, I didn't feel pain. Nothing. The moment I was able to walk, I was so emotional that I started to sob. All that pain gone in under 2 days. Best moment of my life. A few years ago, I had fluid-filled cyst on my tailbone, actually right at the start of the crack lol. I was in horrible pain for days to the point that I couldn't sit or even lay down. I couldn't even eat. I was just crying all the time. I was in constant pain. Went to the ER where I waited for 4 hours without being seen. I was so tired and in so much pain, I just went home. I came back the next day and waited some more hours. Finally I was seen by a doctor. The cyst was not visible on the outside of my body, like no noticeable bump or anything. It was inside, and they used an ultrasound to spot it. The doctor numbed the area and started cutting. He asked me if I could feel anything, and I actually could, so he put more anesthetic. The moment he cut into that cyst, I felt immediate relief. It was so weird. Getting a painful cyst drained feels amazing. Hopefully I won't have to go through it again.